Hello, the new video, as you see the title, is gonna be about the narcissistic mother, and that you shouldn't really share that story with your friends because they would not understand. I would also cover narcissistic girlfriend, but what I actually heard from other people and also from my clients, uh, the society is more understandable for narcissistic girlfriend, but no mother. Okay, start from the beginning. As you see, the title is about the narcissistic childhood growing up with narcissistic mother. First, I would like to talk about the two type of narcissist. We have a grandiose narcissist and covert narcissist. So the characteristic goes like this: a grandiose narcissist think amazing, and there's no doubt about it. They never doubt themselves. They have a lot of narcissistic suppliers. So basically, the world think they're amazing for few reasons. They may be very attractive physically, kind of celebrity type thing, or model type of thing. They have maybe lots of money, or they have a lots of financial resources like great car, great house. They have this, way of dressing up, and they have a lots of narcissistic supply from society basically, so they don't have to look for that narcissistic supplier. On the other hand, covert narcissists, they still think they're amazing, but they don't get enough narcissistic suppliers, so that basically they have to manipulate and coerce people to actually get that. And because children are very innocent and not mature and naive, they're easy to manipulate. They mostly manipulate children to get that narcissistic supply, which obviously come to the situation of narcissistic childhood abuse. Actually, what I actually get from my clients, most of them, they thought the covert narcissist mother, they looks and sound like a borderline, which is actually correct. They have a many label of narcissistic. Um, they have a many characteristic of borderline narcissistic, cover narcissist basically. So they're very volatile. They can be this Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. They change from this basically abusive sociopath or psychopath to this very vulnerable, crying person who asking actually for help, and that's how they actually manipulate children, their own children, to actually get the narcissistic supplier. So basically, it goes like this: do as I told, or else. Else mean abuse, manipulation, lots of guilt and shame. Children grow up with narcissists. They grow up with lots of guilt and shame, which is very heavy burden to deal with. Or basically physical abuse. Or else mean like I push you to actually do as I told. So lots of abuse, lots of abuse, lots of also emotional and psychological abuse. So lots of manipulation, lots of guilt tripping, lots of shaming. So that's normal. And if they feel like they're losing narcissistic supplier, for example, in a girlfriend boyfriend dynamic, they go to this vulnerable kind of person because it's like, okay, he going ahead himself, maybe he dumped me, so I need to basically make myself vulnerable so he come to save me, so I can actually keep him. It's kind of like a emotional bond. They create this, emotional bond, so you cannot really leave them and keep you in an absolutely crazy amount of confusion. We don't know where it's come from. Even for the adult, but for children, even much worse, because children, they don't know what's really going on. The parents are omnipotent. They basically a god to them. So it creates massive confusion. You don't know really stand, and also you're always on the edge. Is this kind of like vulnerable nice person coming, or this kind of psycho bitch coming at me? It's very difficult. I myself grew up with narcissistic mother, so I actually understand from my experience and also from my client experience how difficult it is to deal with that. Sorry, I'm just checking my notes. So basically, as I said, covert narcissists, they're very kind of like changing Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. One minute they can be kind of like this vulnerable person, you know, can come save me. Another day it's just like this psychopath. And actually, narcissists, they're not a psychopath till you say no to them. So basically, it goes like this: do as I told, or else. Or else mean like I beat you to the pulp till you basically conform to me. It's kind of like in a movie 1984 when they basically manipulate that person or torture that person till you basically you're scared of them, so you have to say yes, especially with your when you're a child. And actually when you're in a relationship, when you have this emotional bond, breaking off that relationship, breaking off that bond, it could be the worst what can happen to you. So it could be equally difficult. What I want to actually add more, sorry, I'm just checking my notes. I want to just give you all the information. So that's all about the characteristic of the narcissist. So the other part of the video is why I'm saying don't tell your friends. Main reason how the society operate and how society view mothers. So basically society view mothers as this nurturing, caring, loving person for their own child. That's obviously is can be obviously like that, but as people who actually experience that abuse from the mothers, they know it's actually not true for everybody. So if you for example telling your friends that, oh, your mother was like this, sociopathic, abusive, they grow up with fairly stable household, so there wasn't an alcohol, there wasn't actually, you know, this rage or fury coming out of the alcoholic mother or anything like this, or sudden rage out of nowhere, and then you are basically guilt tripped and shame for create that rage and that anger, then they don't know really what they're talking about. When you're basically scared to come home because you don't know what kind of mood your mother gonna be, then people who never experience things like that, they don't know what they're talking about. So what actually I had from my clients, people actually guilt trip them for not actually having this relationship with the mother, not trying. So what I'm actually advising people here to not actually share the story for people who doesn't have a clue what the fuck they're talking about, because most people they don't. Again, society view mothers as very nurturing and caring, and most people cannot really put in the head that it's actually not all the time like that. The mother can be abusive, it can be psychopathic, it can be very crazy to not basically care for her own child, and actually can be very abusive to the own child. So what's mostly people outside society, your friends, would advise you to keep trying, to keep trying till you bleed. So some people cut themselves off from the mother, my example, because basically there's no respect, no boundaries. They basically like this vampire who want to just suck the blood from you. So basically a relationship goes like this: it's gonna be on my terms and my condition, and you have to conform and you have to obey and you have to just basically keep your boundary down, and I'm gonna like a vampire drink your blood, and you gonna stop to that. And most people, I'm saying friends, don't understand that you try million times and you fail million times because the other party doesn't really want to keep healthy boundary, doesn't want to respect your boundary. They just basically want to abuse you. I drink your milkshake, I drink your blood. You have to do as I told. Obviously, when you grow up and you keep that boundary, you learn to have that boundaries. You obviously say no to that. So I would advise people highly to not share the story, because myself included and some of my clients, they experience lots of pain from that. So you basically, banging your head, trying to understand what you done wrong, banging your head off the wall, and you're thinking, oh, this is not working. I have to cut myself off from my own sanity and my own basically respect to myself. And then friend comes along and said like, oh, you have to keep trying because it's your mommy. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Please only share the story with somebody who would understand that. Do not share that with your friends, because most people would not understand. People understand if you tell them, I grew up with narcissistic or abusive father. They would say like, oh yes, keep away from him. Yeah, he's a bastard. Because men, I can see, can be perceived by society as aggressive. They can be angry, they can be rage, and they can be physically aggressive. I think so because lots of happening now, maybe through the relationship, girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever. Society see this as women can be violent, also can be aggressive, and can be basically psychopathic. But majority of society see women as basically this Mother Mary nurturing things for their own child. So please protect yourself. Don't put yourself in a situation when you feel basically guilt tripped by your friend or the society, because that gives you a lot of pain. And I experienced that, and some of my clients experience that as well, because we actually take us long time to build this healthy boundaries and keep this crazy person away from our life and just come to our sanity. And this people comes along, society / friends, and telling us we are wrong. So that can be very painful, and actually can make you get back into this shame things, because society will shame you that you don't have a relation with your own mother, and a guilt trip you for not having a relation with your own mother. So please protect yourself. Share the story only with people who actually can understand and experience the same. And just like build these healthy boundaries, because we actually guilt trip and shame all the time through the childhood. That's the way of manipulation. When you get back to people outside and they guilt trip you and shame you for not having a relationship with your own mother, then you basically go suck up into the same emotion and feeling. It can be very difficult and basically suck you up to the trauma. So please, people, be careful. Share story only with people who can actually listen, understand, and keep building your healthy boundaries. You have done nothing wrong to building the boundary from basically this psychotic nasty bitch, because some of this mother, they are just like that. So okay, hope that was helpful. Thank you for watching, and I see you next time. Bye.